YouTube! Welcome your beautiful faces back to a new series on the channel. This will be an operator showcase of the Defender Smoke. Now in these videos, obviously we're going to be giving you guys lore about the operators as well as some beginner and advanced guides to them as well. Let me know if you guys want to keep seeing this on the channel. We're going to bounce between defender and attackers. So next up we'll have this one here, which is Sledge. But for this video, we're going to be focusing on my man here, Smoke. Smoke, aka James Porter, was born in London and was not known for his ability to do well in school. However, there was one thing that he took a liking to: science. Smoke wasn't your typical kid. He mainly learned through tutors, homeschooling, and testing things in the field itself, as he didn't like to attend school and didn't do very well in it. With that being said, when it came time for Smoke to go to university to get an education, he decided against it and enlisted in the British Army instead with a fake ID so that he didn't need parental consent. While Smoke was in the Army, he did find it to be boring, so he decided to join the Army boxing team. Frequently breaking the rules caught the attention of his superior officers, but in a good way. They encouraged him to join the SAS, which he eventually did because of his unorthodox routines. At some point in his time in the SAS, Smoke adopted a daughter. The time frame of him adopting the daughter isn't well known. There's not a lot of lore around it. His talents caught the eye of the Rainbow team, which he eventually joined in 2015. Over his years in Rainbow, he built a reputation for himself as being very reckless, but also very caring of his teammates. A couple years later, in 2022, Smoke was invited to the 6th Invitational to be placed on Kali's team in Stadium Bravo, which is when Smoke made the decision to accept Kali's offer of joining Nighthaven. Smoke did leave the Rainbow team along with Kali and Ella at this time. Now, getting into the juicy bits here. So Smoke, which Smoke obviously doesn't usually look like this. I'm sorry that he looks like a rat. Smoke here, he's a 2-2, so he's a 2-speed, 2-health operator with a very, very good loadout. He has one of the best loadouts in the game. Hopping into that loadout here, so every operator in this game has abilities besides to the 2 recruits. So Smoke's ability are these remote gas grenades. He has 3 of these. They last 10 seconds each. These smoke grenades are going to do 15 HP of damage every 0.66 seconds, which is a lot. That can kill a full health operator in just over 3 seconds. Very useful for denying multiple things, which we'll show you guys here in a second. As for the loadout, so his 2 primaries, he has an SMG here, the FMG9, and a shotgun, the M59. I'll go over both of these and tell you guys which loadout is the best in my personal opinion. So starting out with the FMG9. This gun, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's not great. For my new players out there, if you want to use the FMG9 starting out, I wouldn't blame you. Reason being is because his main weapon, if you don't, is going to be the SMG11. This gun does have a lot of recoil, and it is hard to control sometimes, especially with a shotgun being your primary. You're going to have to use it quite a bit. So if you want to use the FMG9, it does not come with a 1.5 scope or ACOGs or anything like that, so you can pick any scope in here that you want. My personal favorite is always going to be Hollow B. And hopping into the attachments here, just for my new players out there, I'll give you a rundown of each attachment, how it works. So Flash Hider here, Flash Hider is going to be your best friend on most of the weapons in this game. Flash Hider is going to reduce how much recoil you have going upwards, so you don't have to pull down as much. Compensator is basically the same thing, just the other direction. It's going to reduce how much you move horizontally, so left and right. Muzzle Brake, please don't ever use this on fully auto weapons. It's useless. It's going to reduce how much you kick on single shot firing. It's mainly for DMRs. Suppressor is, well, a suppressor. It's going to do exactly what you think it does. It's going to suppress your shots. It's also going to reduce your muzzle flash, and it used to have a drop off on the damage range. It does not anymore like other games, so don't worry about that. And lastly, coming to extended barrel, this is going to be for my body shot kings out there. This is going to increase your damage overall. So if you're hitting body shots a lot, it's going to make your gun do more damage. It's also going to reduce the range at which your damage falls off, so you're gonna have a little bit more range there, which honestly doesn't really matter in this game anymore. So with the FMG out of the way, we're gonna move on to my personal favorite gun in the game, the M59. Now let me tell you guys, the M59, it's the best shotgun in the game by far, hands down. Hopping into the attachments here, surprisingly, I usually run iron sight on my shotguns. Now you can run a sight, there's not anything against doing that. I just personally think the iron sights on the M59 are better than a sight. Again, if you do have to run a sight, it is basically up to personal preference, but I would go with Hollow B. Coming over to the laser. So different people have different opinions on the laser. I personally do not run them, especially on shotguns. The laser is going to reduce your time to ADS, but it's not by as much as you think, and the opponents can see your laser. So if you're holding down a doorway and you're not aimed in, or you are aimed in, whatever's going on, they can see your laser on that doorway and be able to tell where you are based off of that. And as you can see, the ADS time, you're only going to shave off 0.03 of a second. So I don't think it's worth it. you can choose to run it if you would like. This pistol here, you're basically only going to want to run it if you're running the FMG. This pistol is pretty decent. It does 50 damage a shot. And again, we have 2 options on the attachments on this pistol. We have the muzzle brake and the suppressor. And again, usually I'm going to pick the muzzle brake here over the suppressor, but it's really a personal preference, which again, I personally wouldn't run the laser because of the same reasons we just went over. Nothing too special about this pistol, honestly. It's a pistol. It goes pew, and that's about it. And coming over to the SMG-11 here, this is going to be your main gun that you're using if you're rocking the shotgun. Now again, for my new players out there, the SMG-11, it is going to be kind of difficult to control. As you can see over here, R6 has implemented something in the new patch with the control difficulty. Kind of tells you how difficult it's going to be to handle the recoil. It's out of 5. So it is one of the harder guns in the game to learn, but don't let that deter you from trying to use this gun. It is very, very good, especially for headshots. Now for the SMG-11, it's really up to you on the sight choice. Again, you can run whatever sight that you want. For the barrel option, I would go with the flash hider. That's what I run. Makes it a little easier to control that recoil pattern going upwards. I will tell you the SMG-11 doesn't have a lot of horizontal kick. It's mainly just vertical. So putting on the flash hider is going to help you a lot with that. And it's going to have all the other options that the FMG has as well, so you can pick based off of those. Not going to go over those again just for the sake of time. You get the point. They all do the same thing on every weapon. Now coming into the grips, this is the first gun that we're going to go over that has a grip option. So with your grips, you're going to have 3 grip options on the guns that do allow it. You're going to have vertical, angled, and horizontal. Now in my opinion, there is 0 reason to not run vertical grip on every gun that you have. Vertical grip is going to also help reduce the speed at which your muzzle goes upwards, so controlling that recoil like brake option. So I would run that on every gun you have, especially this one because of the recoil. Angled grip is going to reduce the speed at which it takes to reload the gun. It is sort of a noticeable difference, but it's not by much. As you can see down here, it's only by 0.54. So it does help, but it's not worth it to run it over the vertical grip in my opinion. Now the horizontal grip, this is a newer grip option. Never run this. Ever. The horizontal grip is just going to make you move a little bit faster, and it's not noticeable at all. Please never run this. And again, your underbarrel option, you're just going to have a laser. You're going to have a laser on your underbarrel option at all times, so that's up to you. Now, with his guns out of the way, like I said, the best option you have for his loadout, and this is one of the best loadouts in the game, especially on defense, I would go with the shotgun and the SMG-11. This shotgun is devastating at close to medium range. It's going to mostly always one-shot, if not down somebody, depending on their armor and if they have a finka, etc. And the SMG-11 is going to be your long-range option. Once you get used to this gun, it is a headshot machine. It is so nice. Coming over to the gadgets. So Smoke has 2 gadgets to pick from, barbed wire and proximity alarms. So barbed wire in the recent patch, this does actually do damage now to operators walking over to barbed wire. It's going to slow them down, do damage, and it creates a lot of noise when they walk through it. To counter barbed wire, they're going to have to hit it or explode it, and you're obviously going to hear that. So it's mainly for a sound cue. Proximity alarms, you throw these on walls, ceilings, floors, wherever you want them, and whenever someone walks within a certain range of it, it's going to start beeping. So I personally would pick barbed wire over this on Smoke, just because for Smoke, you're going to want to deny a certain area. Barbed wire is going to help you deny that area. And for both of these, you get 2 of these. So you get 2 barbed wire, 2 proximity alarms. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It greatly helps us out. And check out our Discord down below in the description. All right, guys. So now hopping into some actual gameplay. So as I was saying, Smoke is a 2-speed, 2 armor operator, which means if I move my head out the way here, you can see he has 100, it's that way, 110 health here, right? Now, if he was a 3-speed 1 operator, that would be 100 health. So you get a little bit more health onto your health pool, as long as still keeping that speed. So you're not a 3 armor, but you're not a 3-speed. So going over some roles here. So Smoke is going to be an anchor. What anchoring means is you're not going to really be too far outside of the objective, if outside of it at all. You want to always be in the objective to stop their points of entry. So for example, we're on Oregon here. This is the upstairs site. This is white stairs here. So I would come over and place the barbed wire on the white stairs like that. And now you're going to have the barbed wire here. So you're going to get an audio cue when people walk up. And if you listen, you could hear it even when defenders walk through like this. You hear that shuffling around? You'll hear that when people are walking over it, as well as them screaming because barbed wire does damage now. So if I'm Smoke and I hear that, if I hear them coming up the barbed wire and it's a couple different people, you can come back here from a safe distance, throw your smoke grenade. It's not going to automatically detonate. You got to click that button again. So once it's there, pop it again. Smoke grenade goes off. While this smoke grenade is off, you can walk through this. And as you can see, it disrupts your vision a lot. It's going to disrupt their vision a lot too. When they're standing in that smoke grenade, so it lasts 10 seconds, and it's going to do 15 HP every 0.66 seconds. So it's going to do a lot of damage to them, so they're going to have to back up. So you basically have this area on lockdown for at least 10 seconds, unless they run straight through it, which most of the time will not happen. Now, what you can also do is you can pre-place smoke grenades. So what I like to do sometimes is place a smoke grenade on a wall, and that way I already have it down, so I can be in this room over here. I don't have to peek it, and if I get a comm that says, you know, people coming up top of white, I can just pop it. Simple as that. Now, if you played R6 back in the day, you may remember that smoke grenades used to go through walls and floors. They do not do that anymore. So if you place a smoke grenade here, it is not going to go through the floor anymore, which honestly makes sense. Now, as the anchor of the team, and with you having a shotgun, you're going to be in charge of making what's called rotate holes. That's to quickly be able to move from, usually from site to another room. So just as a quick example, you want to make a rotate on this wall just by shooting it out with your shotgun like that. If you want a full guide of how to set up this site as well, you can click here. I actually have a video on how to do that as well if you don't know how to set up the site. So we've gone over that smoke's an anchor. We've gone over smoke's ability. We've gone over smoke's utility as well. You may be asking, oh, Zach, what is smoke counter? Well, let me tell you, we went over this smoke grenade. Most people are not going to want to run through this. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, Blitz and Montaigne, that's people that are going to want to establish dominance in a site. Blitz most likely is going to be just, well, blitzing through the area, running full speed at your face. And Blitz is going to be running full speed at your face, and one of the best ways to stop that is a smoke grenade. You pop that smoke grenade, you're going to keep Blitz there for at least 10 seconds so you can get some teammates to rotate over to help you and whatnot. It's one of the best ways to counter shield ops. Smoke is also very, very good at denying plant, so the default plant site on this map right here is this corner here, or this corner here. Now, if I'm Smoke, I can just come into sight from here and stop that plant with ease like that. And now they have to move or that plant is not going down. I hope you can get the idea. Smoke denies area very well. He's got a shotgun for close range, got an SMG-11 for medium to long encounters, and he can counter everyone's least favorite operators in the game, shield ops. Now, Smoke also combos very well with other operators, mostly trap operators, so we'll go over some of those as well. So obviously I'm in a custom game by myself, but let's say we have a Legion on our team and he has, say, like a goo mine right here or something, right? Now, as an attacker, if I'm coming through this window and I step on that goo mine, if you're playing as Smoke and you hear that goo mine go off, you know that they just jumped through big window and they're gonna have to pull that goo mine out, and they can't move around while they have that goo mine in their foot. So you can chuck a smoke grenade right over this bed bunk here and stop them from pulling that out. And most times, if not, they're gonna be forced to either jump back out the window or they're just gonna get killed from the smoke grenade. This works for all trap ops too. So if you have a frost in the same spot right underneath the big window, if you hear the frost mat go off, throw a smoke over there, finish them off. Right? Also works if you have a Mira. This is a really dumb spot for a Mira, but just for an example. So if you had a Mira here and she's got her head holes, right, and you see them jump through the window, you as a Smoke player can come through and just chuck a smoke grenade through the window, right? So for the most part, you being alive is the most important part of your role. If you're alive in the last 30 seconds of the round, you can completely stop their push if you have all three of your smoke grenades left. Since they all last 10 seconds, it's adding up to 30 seconds total. You can completely shut down the round and it's a free win for you guys as long as you're alive. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's Smoke. Smoke doesn't really have too many advanced tips and stuff, so this is more for beginners, of course. Smoke is a very unga bunga operator. You throw a smoke grenade, it explodes into gas, right? It's pretty easy. Now here's the fun part, the tier list. So me personally, along with I feel like a lot of other people, are going to put Smoke in A tier. Smoke's an A tier operator because his loadout, ability, and his utility are all very good, but it's not anything game breaking, right? Like I said, you can completely cut off an area or a bomb plant for 30 seconds total, does a boatload of damage. Now with him having the best shotgun in the game and arguably the best secondary in the game, that's mainly what's going to push him to an A tier operator. But make sure to leave a like on the video and comment down below anything else you want to see during this series. If you want me to include more lore and stuff like that, I can always do that as well. Stay tuned for the next video. Like I said, we're going to be going into Sledge next, and make sure you guys check out the other videos as well. We do some site setup videos, so if you're newer to the game, you don't know how to set up the sites, you can always check those out as well to bring it into your ranked matches, get you out of copper. Love you guys. I'll see you next video. Peace out, mother lovers. Mwah.